Oh, damn. Well, that was quick.
Ask and you shall receive. Good morning. Welcome to First World Third Rails. Your host, Marlon Mayhem, Mr. B Rating, with his partner in crime, JD, aka JD. Top of the morning, my friend.
Good day, sir.
I'm feeling good today.
Ooh.
I just tweeted out, we're back to my Seattle summer. 59 degrees, cloudy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Where are you? Are you in front of Mount Rainier?
I am in front of Mount Rainier, view from atop the Space Needle of downtown Seattle.
Wow. So you'll be rotating out of view here. Does the Space Needle rotate?
Yes.
Very cool.
If memory serves me correctly, I haven't been up in it in a long time, but if memory serves me correctly, there is a restaurant at the top that has rotating views.
The last rotating thing that I was in Mexico. It was a rotating discotheque at the top of a very tall building.
There is a restaurant at the top of a hotel at the foot of Crystal City that I used to go to all the time. Had rotating view of Virginia, Washington. It's one of my favorite restaurants.
I think it's gone now. It was at the Marriott.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there, but not recently because
it's out of here.
Talk about valuable real estate. Good God. Yeah, that hotel was like 800 years old.
Hey, I want to start today's show by giving a shout out. You know I love giving shout outs as I start our show.
I do.
I'm going to give two.
Oh.
Shout out to each and every viewer that's been viewing our podcast the last couple of weeks. I'm more than two, man. More than two. I am humbled that people would take the time to listen to what two old codgers like us have to say. So thank you. We notice you. We appreciate you. We love you. And most importantly, thank you.
Well, God willing, they stuck around for that particular shout out. Know what I mean?
Well, let's hope so. Second shout out. God. Listen, I'm not going to rain on the Commanders parade. You want a preseason game against.
Are we going to do football now?
I'm just giving a shout out to the Commander friends. They act like they won the goddamn Super Bowl last night. I'm not going to rain on.
What happened?
They beat the Ravens, ended the Ravens' preseason winning streak, which is meaningless. And it was if they won the Super Bowl, but I'm not going to rain on the parade. Congratulations. You ended the Ravens' winning streak. If you played well, you looked well. Sam Howell looked well against the Ravens, 2s and 3s. But I'm not going to dive into that. I'm just going to say congratulations. Calm down. It was a preseason game. It was against guys who aren't going to be playing in the NFL in 2 weeks. But enjoy the victory, because they certainly did.
Well, I live in Washington, so the Commies are my team, and this is the first I've heard of it. I don't care. So what's our third rail today?
I don't know. What do you want?
Oh, man.
We got mugshots coming up. Oh, no. I know what our third rail is.
All right.
Only because I love you, and people who have followed this podcast know that I love you. It doesn't sound like that at times, but because I love you,
yes,
I am going to defer and give you the opportunity to right your wrong.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
I
don't usually get an opportunity to right my wrongs.
No, you don't. But I'm going to give you one today. Last week.
Oh, I can fix it. It's your fault. You misunderstood. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Last week, you and I had exchanges and debates about whether a person could be
intelligent and ignorant.
Yes. And I think you want to backtrack on some of that position you took. Yeah, you do.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
Skyped
do.
you yesterday and
Yeah, you do.
I changed it from, I changed it. So
You had to change it.
no. I doubled down on my thesis and
You're
I
wrong. You're
ignored
wrong.
your thesis, which I accepted for a nanosecond because I love you and I was being nice. So
You were wrong. You were wrong. When you here's where you're wrong.
well,
This
it's
is
the kind of subject that if I was wrong then I'd be wrong now. But if I was right then I would be right now.
this is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
Yes.
You can have, as I said last week, you can have all of those accreditations, but your actions and words make you ignorant.
Is there a reason you're not stating who the individual is and what the
You
topic
know
is?
exactly who the
All right, so it's
individual is.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Slumdog
Our
Millionaire
discussion
boy.
was around ignorance and intelligence, as in, if Lady Liberty has intelligence here, can she produce ignorance here? And I think you can be ignorant on subjects and you can be ignorant about situations. And those situations would be predicated on what I would call willful ignorance. So I would consider Vivek Ramaswamy chock-a-block with willful ignorance. And I believe everything he says is a manipulation. And I can explain all this if you want me to go off and just explain.
No, we did that
I
last
can
week.
explain the whole thing, tip to tail, white supremacy, the whole
Nope.
bit.
Nope. Don't need that.
I keep trying to explain it to everybody, and they're like,
here's why we don't need that explanation. His campaign is flatlining, and we will be done with him shortly.
That's not meaningful.
We will be done with him shortly, and
A discussion about Vivek Ramaswamy would not include his position in the polls. It's independent. In other words,
we
if we
will
talk about
be
individuals' platform and what it is they're hoping to express, it's immaterial where they are in the polls. It doesn't matter. That's a non sequitur.
will.
I think you're a fucking genius, but you're not running the Stanford Artificial Intelligence Lab. That's a case in point.
An explanation is not needed because we will be done with him very shortly. And he will, like Herschel Walker, fade into the MAGA land footprint, never to be heard from again.
Well, you're leaving out one possibility,
which is
the GPS. He can recalculate. He tested the waters, which power to him.
Go ahead, test, recalculate. Go ahead.
I think he can recalculate, and he tested some things. He wanted to see what the net effect was. So here's my calculation on Vivek Ramaswamy, and in fact on all the others. But Ramaswamy is different because he's only in his 30s and he's going for broke. And the reason he's going for broke is the same reason that you take risks in your 20s and 30s. You're like, well, I ain't dead yet. I'm going to have another couple decades to actually make adjustments. So that separates him from Pence and all the other older candidates. So Ramaswamy probably sat down in a conference room with coffee and donuts with his consultants. And they're like, they're trying to decide where to go. And he's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take on all of the positions that are slightly to the right of Donald Trump. And I'm going to test the waters and see what the reaction is and what it gains me and what it costs me. Because none of these people is running for the general election. They are all running for the primary, the nomination from the Republican Party. And a big part of that calculation, I'll bet you about 20% of the discussion was about the probability that Donald Trump is incarcerated. Vivek Ramaswamy's calculation is based on going slightly one tick to the right of all Trump's views, right? And he is banking on Trump going to jail. His entire campaign is predicated on Trump going to jail.
You done?
I'm just getting started, but yes, I'm done.
Back to my original point. Very shortly, we will be done with him.
I'm not going to argue.
Very fucking
That
short.
means he'll recalculate and come back 4 years from now.
I don't care what he does.
You could be right. I'm not going to argue
No,
your
no,
point.
no. There's not no could be right. We're done with him.
All right, I'll accept that. We'll be done with him
We're
shortly.
done with him. And you
We'll
know
be
who's
done
going to
with
put
him
the
shortly.
nail in the coffin? Gen Z is going to put the nail in his fucking coffin. And we'll be done with him. And he and Herschel Walker can go be sheriffs somewhere in the South red.
You're assuming that Gen Z does not have the same psychological profiles that we associate with regular human beings. You're assuming that Gen Z is not chock-a-block with the statistically significant number
What I know, what I know,
of males. Have you seen Barbie? If you go watch Barbie, Barbie is a temporary take on this.
What I
The
know,
whole movie rotates around the behaviors of men once they get their act together.
I'm not talking about Fantasyland. I'm talking about reality. And in the
Listen,
real
it was
world,
done by Greta Gerwig, and Greta Gerwig is a student of contemporary society.
In the real world, Gen Z is not about to stand there and watch their rights stripped away from them. I live in the real world.
You just said something.
I live in the real world. And in the real world, Gen Z is not about to let that happen.
All right. So what you said was Gen Z not about to let their rights, you can keep talking, their rights
You got it.
Be stripped from them. This is the statement that you made.
Yes.
So you're looking at it
Slumdog Millionaire
from a different perspective.
Which Vic Slumdog Millionaire boy is trying to do.
I don't believe I have done an ad hominem attack yet on Vivek.
I don't care about him. I don't care how many times I ad hominem
attacks that I've done are on Trump because I can't help it.
That's you. I just called him Vic Slumdog Millionaire boy.
All right. So I want to take your sentiment, your statement, which I think is a keen and insightful statement. I'm going to repeat it because it's very important. It's the locus of all of this, and we either push toward it or we pull away from it, but it's the locus. Gen Z is not about to let their rights be stripped from them. I agree with that sentence, but I think of it differently. You're talking about each individual participant. You're going to get a different perception of rights. And the human animal still does not want to afford benefit rights. In other words, in a zero-sum situation, a lot of human beings instinctively will withhold resources and rights from other people. It doesn't matter if they're Gen Z, they're not more empathetic. In other words, you can't take a slice of a different generation and say that it's more or less empathetic. You could argue that their experiences are different. So Gen Z, it's a higher probability they've come in contact with people of color, LGBTQ, and they've had positive experiences. So their perceptions of those things are fundamentally different based on their own personal exposure. But it does not imply that the human animal from this generation is going to be more empathetic than human animals from previous generations.
What does all that have to do with my point?
Gen Z is not about, is not about.
I'm talking about one.
I'm going to make my point. You said, what is my point? Let me make my point. And I hobnobbed and I wasted time. I'm going to make my point.
No, it wasn't a waste of time. I don't understand. I'm talking about one basic, specific right. The right to vote. And Gen Z is not about to stand there and see that right taken away without a fight.
I happen to agree with that. Vivek Ramaswamy floated that turd to test the waters. Now, I will tell you that he did get some...
Exhibit A to being an idiot. Exhibit A. Exhibit A.
Calculated, he threw it out there, and then he is probably going to recalculate. Or he isn't. And do you know why he wouldn't? Because his pollsters are telling him that there are a lot of people who listen to that dog whistle. And the dog whistle was, we're going to remove Gen Z's right to vote, but they can get it back after being reapproved. If you listen to the entire thing, what he's saying is he's saying, Gen Z, you're the gateway generation. You could set the tone well into the future. What you would do is you would sacrifice your vote, recognizing that if you're in the proper group, you'll be able to get it back. And this is how we will disenfranchise big chunks of people that you don't want them to have rights. This is something that is very important to understand. And we keep slipping and sliding on this, because I can see the darkness in the human soul. And depending on circumstances, most human beings, with a few exceptions, will take and hold. They won't distribute riches. They won't distribute opportunity. They won't distribute their land. They won't distribute their pools. They won't distribute things. And Gen Z is no different. So if they listen to that entire dog whistle, Ramaswamy is doing some testing. There was a situation 3 days ago where there was a big question. Why did the Ukrainians send one S-200 ballistic missile into Crimea when almost all of the previous ones have been part of a drone swarm? And the answer was they expected it to be shot down. They were confident it would be shot down. But what they were doing is they were trying to ascertain where the air defense systems were in a new quadrant. So they sent a single sacrifice S-200 with the full payload of explosives, and it was shot down. But it was a positive event because they know where the air defense systems are. And that's what Ramaswamy is doing. He's testing this.
Are you done?
Sure. I'm just getting started, but yeah, I'll be done.
We will be done with his ignorant ass very shortly.
I agree with you.
That's the bottom line there.
But it's not the bottom line. You're looking at behaviors that are independent.
He is a fucking idiot. He's an idiot for trying it. He's an idiot for believing it. He is just simply ignorant. And we will be done with him, and we can throw his ass on the pile with Herschel Walker very shortly.
Well,
and
you know, Gen Z is saviors of our society, but they're motherfucking.
They're saviors of their own society. And you know why I am firmly steadfast in this position? Tennessee showed me, Gen Z showed me in Tennessee that they're not going to stand and tolerate this
MAGA is a subset. There were a lot of people marching.
Not enough. They're not enough. They're not enough. That dog whistle does not resonate with enough to get him anywhere near power that he wants. So
I think it's a fair statement, and it would really hold water if he was concerned with the general. He's not. He's singularly concerned with the primary.
That makes him even more of an idiot than I can even describe.
And there's another objective. He has two objectives. The first objective, which is less probable than the second, the first objective is to get the Republican nomination. Damn the general election. The second objective is
not going to happen.
The second objective is to be chosen as a running mate.
Not going to happen. So very shortly, back to my point, very shortly, we'll have him in the box with Herschel Walker and we can move on.
Well, a lot of the despots did not materialize overnight. They were in the system for years, and in some cases decades, before they came into a position of authority. Putin is the best example. Putin was the mayor of St. Petersburg, and he was an associate of Boris Yeltsin. And he went from St. Petersburg, so he was in the KGB, mayor of St. Petersburg, and then he ascended to the presidency of the Soviet Union.
Slumdog millionaire boy ain't gonna be doing that kind of shit. So again, we'll have him in the box.
He has a pilot's log, and he's logging his flight time. He's building flight hours.
Knock yourself out. We'll have you in the box with Herschel, and we can move on.
I'm okay with that. I would not argue that point.
No, there's no argument to that point.
Well, that's why I
because
wouldn't argue it. I'm just talking
his
about what
his
he's doing, why he's doing it, and what his intent is.
he's an idiot is why he's doing it.
And I'm saying he's doing everything on purpose.
There's no way with any reasonable amount of intelligence and got a trash tape, sorry. There's no way with any reasonable amount of intelligence that I would think the majority of America would be fine taking away the right to vote, but not raising the age limit on the right to purchase a firearm.
All right.
You have to be one of the dumbest mother effers in America to float that idea.
I don't like him.
He did, and there will be a cost associated to it, recalculation or not. So shortly we will have him in the bin with Herschel Walker.
Well, before I would insult his intelligence, I would say, I don't like you. I fucking hate your ideas. In other words, I don't like the guy. I don't want him to win. All right. But the question again is why? So
I don't care why. I don't care.
No,
why.
you can answer why because you know the answer.
He's an idiot.
No, there's another reason.
All right, give me the other reason.
Are you a salesperson?
Yes.
Throughout your career, have you, in all of your engagements, whether it's with your own firms or somebody else's firm, have you participated in the development or the transmission of a USP?
USP?
Oh, come on, a unique sales proposition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
I didn't have my sales hat on.
All right, so.
But not an idiotic one.
No, hold on. Hold on.
Not an idiotic one. It might have been unique, but it wasn't.
I'm trying to explain some things that are apparent to me. So Vivek Ramaswamy is like, guys, we need some unique sales propositions, and that includes ones that are problematic or confrontational. He is the only person who has this opinion. And it's a completely unique opinion.
You are blurring.
If you're trying to cull.
You are blurring.
Real supporters, you're going to find them this way. They're
going
to be like blurring, isotope, isolated, and emphasized.
You are blurring the line of unique.
No, I'm explaining why he's doing what he's doing. Vivek Ramaswamy does not expect to win the presidency.
He doesn't expect to win the nomination. He's not going to win the nomination with any.
Well, I'm okay with that, but it's not even an objective for him right now.
Then why is he doing it?
Because he wants to win later.
Well, back to my point, and we will put the lid on Slumdog Millionaire Boy with this. He will be in the fucking bin with Herschel Walker and never to be heard from again. We'll be done with him.
He'll be in the bin with Marie Le Pen. Marie Le Pen is the ultra-hard right party leader. She followed on the footsteps of her father. They have not yet ascended to the presidency.
And they won't.
She's been around for 20 years, and there's a high probability that she's going to be president before
she
dies.
We'll see. And that's France's problem. I'm talking about here.
Yeah, but it's the human element. This is humanity. And there are conservative movements around the globe. The only way
I get that. I'm talking about here.
What's that?
I get that. I'm talking about here.
Here is no different than any place else.
Yeah, it is.
Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump are interchangeable.
Here is very different.
Here actually an intelligence.
Here is very different than everywhere else. Yeah, I don't even know why you would even utter those words out of your mouth.
What makes it different? You have a bunch of people.
MAGA. The cult makes it different.
Oh, there's a MAGA equivalent everywhere. There's a huge one in Brazil.
Great, but have they tried to
It's the same concept.
All right.
Ultra right.
He'll be in the bin,
and they're like, our rights are now not about to be stripped, but in their rights calculation, they include other shit. And one of their rights is to take rights from others. And that's the biggest right that MAGA wants. MAGA wants the right to take.
He'll be in the trash bin with Herschel, and we won't have to bring him up again.
Okay.
Do we talk about Herschel Walker? When's the last time anybody talked about Herschel Walker?
For me, just now.
There you go. He'll be in that band and we can move on. Now, moving on. What is it? Mugshot Thursday now? Eastman surrendered today.
Oh, really? So he surrendered in advance?
Yep.
They were asking him to surrender on the 25th. Eastman surrendered today.
Today.
He's a smart motherfucker. So he's like, I'm going to go in front of all of the press.
Yeah.
God, that's genius.
Yeah. It might save what little public life you might have left by surrendering. And let me just
understand something. Eastman is a hero.
How is Eastman a hero?
Eastman is a hero to
Explain that one to me.
He is the one
to that group, to the MAGAs, yeah.
Yeah, right. He's the one who architected that whole.
MAGAs have a single IQ, so yeah, Mickey Mouse might as well.
They managed to get a slate of electors in each of those 7 states. They succeeded in many respects. They came that close.
That's not succeeding. Close. That's not succeeding. That only counts in horseshoes.
You know what? You know what? It only counts in horseshoes and atom bombs. And an atom bomb went off, and we were perilously close to it. And it actually irradiated a lot of our process. So they were partially successful. But using your own example, they did not fail. They came up short, but they did not outright fail. They succeeded in achieving a statistically significant percentage of their objective.
All right.
Girl, you know it's true.
No, it's not true. Because they're going to prison. So that's not successful. You're going to fucking prison.
You know, a lot of people went to prison on their 8th, 10th, 12th crime. When a serial murderer goes to prison, he's already murdered some quantity of people. So, yeah, he's going to prison. But the act of going to prison, just like where you stand in the polls, is independent of the concept and your principles.
Jail is jail, buddy. Jail is jail.
Yeah. Once again,
when those bars slam shut, you're in fucking jail.
Listen, when you put
here's
a huge problem when you put somebody in jail. It doesn't undo all the damage they did. So yeah, they went to jail.
It's not about that. It's about accountability. It's about responsibility. And that when those bars slam shut, nowhere does successful enter into the equation, because guess what? You are now a convicted, jailed felon.
I completely disagree. And you know who else disagrees with you?
Who?
Trump. He says he needs one more indictment to get elected.
Give him one. Give it to him.
So
give it to him. Let's see what happens.
I'm telling you, not everybody looks at this the exact same way.
Fine. Give it to him. Let's see if he gets elected. I gotta read. I gotta
dead of an aneurysm. I think that would work best. That's probably our best bet.
Let him give him all the indictments he wants. Let's see if that works. Again, idiotic. Are
you upset because I keep explaining these things?
No. You're not explaining anything.
Oh, yes, I am.
You're making it. No, you're making yourself look. You're making yourself look bad, but that's okay. That's why we're here.
No, this is some good stuff.
Jail is jail. Speaking of jail,
I'm not writing that down.
Speaking of jail and lost freedom is lost freedom. I don't care. You can spin it any kind of way you want. Once those bars close, that's the reality and the real deal. The thing that just continues to draw the absolute worst out of me, especially on social media, is the cries from that side about a 2-tiered justice system. And what angers me is that they're right. They're actually right. But the position that they have is so backwards. Meaning, yes, it's a two-tiered justice system that's actually favoring him.
And they're right. And when they point to it, they're right.
If I tried to overthrow democracy,
yeah,
and Marlon Taylor got caught, and Marlon Taylor was indicted,
you realize, okay, go ahead, keep going.
And arrested, would Marlon Taylor's bond be $200,000? No.
Marlon Taylor's bond would be
$2 million, which is what his should have been. $200,000. Oh. Now, here's another thing. Marlon Taylor would not have an appointment to show up to go through the booking process. Marlon Taylor would have been arrested the moment that indictment got handed down. There's no, hey, we're going to give him till the 25th. Show up by the 20th. Nah. But it is what it is. He will show up on Thursday. The Fulton County Sheriff has maintained that he is going to be treated no different. We will see how that goes. Because I know how Marlon Taylor would be treated at Fulton County. Let's see if he's not treated any differently than Marlon Taylor would be.
I agree with you. What's the third rail? What you're saying is that there are two.
There is a two-tiered system. It's favoring him.
But
it's favoring him.
How does one address that, deal with it, articulate it, name it, whatever?
We can't. It's going to take years. It's going to take majority. It's going to take changes within the system to balance it. And that's going to probably not come in my lifetime because it's been unjust. It's been unbalanced in the 4 years I've been alive and going back further. So it's unlikely to see, but Gen Z, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm going to say something that is really curious, but it's actually what comes to mind. I've made a discovery lately that actually reminds me of this two-tier justice system.
Which is?
Are the molecular structures of glucose and fructose the same?
I have no idea.
All right. No, the molecular structures of glucose and fructose are not the same. However, they have the same chemical formula, C6H12O6. In other words, what you're looking at with this justice system is you are looking at what you described as a mirror image. And it's the same justice system. It's the same C6H12O6. And
I would argue that, but all right, let's go along.
It's actually very much like this biological phenomena of glucose and fructose. And what's intrigued me is if somebody says, like, if one of the pundits on Fox says there's a two-tier justice system, right? That's on my right. And then a pundit on MSNBC says there's a two-tier justice system. They've both said the same thing. It's the same chemical formula, but one is glucose and the other is fructose. So
no.
How do we
reality?
What can we do using either words or concepts to actually
one is reality, one is
militarize the two-tier justice system?
They're not the same.
Okay, but see, a lot of people would argue that the justice system exists to deny you your rights. So I'm going back to your sentence. Gen Z is not about to let their rights be stripped from them. Their perception of their rights is the right to deny you your rights.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is that what they did in Tennessee? No.
No, you're taking specific incidents.
Yes.
I'm talking
Yes.
about the human
Real life
the
shit.
balance between a progressive and a conservative mindset, and the influences here in the United States of our Puritan origins, and the role that Christianity plays, and the role that conservatism plays, and the role that paternity plays. These things all factor.
You're trying to have a discussion.
No, I'm trying to explain that at the point where they say there's a two-tier justice system,
you're doing a very poor job.
they are saying something that they actually believe in.
Because they don't live in reality. They live in an alternate universe. So trying to explain the mindset of somebody living in an alternate universe is meaningless.
All right, so the two-tier justice system that we're referring to is actually extracurricular. They're saying that if you achieve a certain situation, which is in alignment with this group, then you should not be subject to justice. That's the key. In other words, what's happening is the inverse of when a Black Lives Matter person says they should not be submitted to justice, because a Black Lives Matter person would say, well, this person set this store on fire, but their cause is just, so they should not be charged with a misdemeanor.
No,
the exact same thing.
No,
it's
it isn't.
like
No,
glucose and fructose,
No, it isn't.
but it's the
No, it
same
isn't.
chemical formula inverted.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. If somebody is a Black Lives,
If you destroy person or property, I don't give a fuck how demonstrative, convicted.
let me just back off. When they went after the Black Lives Matter,
let me finish. This is important.
okay.
I don't give a fuck how just you think your cause is. If you destroy property, person, there's accountability to that. And we know that. BLM knew that. Now, a lot was, there was an argument about how much was BLM versus Antifa. I'm not here to debate that. If you destroy property, if you destroy or harm persons, there's accountability to that. We know that. We know that.
You're right. And my example was the wrong example. I made a mistake.
Yes. We
now,
know this.
They would argue that if Trump destroyed property, that he wouldn't be subject, but that's a separate issue. The example that I should have given, instead of anybody saying, oh, great, I'm gone. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'll be back in a minute.
He's on the dark side of the moon. Well, that example cost him a freeze.
Okay. Karma. All right. So the example was the wrong example, and you're correct. If you destroy property, that's kind of a separate discussion because it's not based on concepts and belief systems. However, when Black Lives Matter marchers approached the White House, what did they do?
God, I can't remember. That summer of 22.
They put up fences, right?
Yes, yes.
And
yes.
they attacked the group. And they
law enforcement attacked.
In other words, this is what I'm talking about. The perception was that my group, which ended up holding a Bible in front of the church, that group was saying, it's my right to keep you from expressing yourself. And I believe in that 100%. That's the two-tier justice system, the C6H1206.
No, that is not. No. That's a poor example of two-tier.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's a poor example of two-tier justice system. Very poor. A better example.
No, I'm talking about the belief system underlying the statement.
A better example is Marlon Taylor trying to overthrow democracy, keeping his passport, keeping his ability to travel.
Exactly. They think that he should not be prosecuted.
Which is idiotic.
Listen, there was a group of people who did not want Jesus crucified. That's
Okay.
who these people
Another.
are.
Okay. They don't live in the real
But
world. So
that's the origin of the two-tiered justice system. It is their right to deny you justice, and it is their right to conduct their affairs without having justice applied to them.
and that playbook is going to be short-lived.
Oh, no, it's not, because
All
your
right.
Gen Z argument is also flawed.
All
You're
right.
not going
We'll
to get
see.
a pristine field of,
We'll see. We'll
of,
see. We'll see.
people who are full
We'll
of
see.
love for their brethren. A lot of
We'll
these
see.
Gen Z are closet angerists. They're
We'll
pissed.
we
Fucking
will
pissed.
we will see. We will see.
And if you give them a common enemy, they, like every other society before
We
them, is
will
going to
see.
self-articulate compelling reasons to deny rights or to focus emphasis on this group.
We will see.
And I think I know what the group will be. It's going to be old people. In other words, once they get to the point where their immediate family is passed away, like Poppy and Granny, I think they're going to go after.
We'll
old
see.
people.
We'll see.
You need a group, and usually it's Jews or blacks or Hispanics or
We will see. That was the playbook in the 50s and 60s. We'll see if it works.
You keep thinking that this playbook doesn't carry forward through time. It just carries.
It has carried forward.
The names may change, but the plays are the same.
It has carried forward in time, and what I am telling you is the up and coming generation wants nothing to do, by far and large, nothing
You can't
to do.
do that. You cannot make a blanket statement about the up and coming generation.
We will see.
I'll make a blanket statement.
We
I'm
will
counting
see.
your blanket statement with my blanket statement. The up and
We will
coming
see.
generation is no fucking different than any other generation.
We will see. We will see.
I think their acceptance is higher, but I don't think the internal construct of the
We shall see.
human psyche is fundamentally different.
Because I have realistic instances that are giving me the hope. Tennessee being Exhibit A. We will see.
I have realistic instances in my daily life.
And that playbook is dying.
No, it's not. It's not dying.
All right. Let's see if they get and maintain the power that they want.
All right, I'm going to do an analogy for you.
Trump was
I'm going to do an analogy.
Trump was president. They lost the House and the Senate. And then he lost the presidency.
That's all meaningless.
All right, JD.
If we're talking about the existence of a playbook, if we're talking about attempts, whether they succeed or fail, just because something fails doesn't mean it goes away. I mean, I have failed repeatedly. I'm still here. All right, I'm going to give you an analogy. Are you ready? One analogy coming up, and it's going to go right into your wheelhouse. When did football teams first hand out a playbook?
You mean for the year? When do they?
No, like in 1932, was there a team that was like, oh, we created a playbook and we handed it out?
Yeah, probably back then, yeah.
Okay, so that playbook, did the playbook presume that there would be an offensive line, running backs, receivers, and a quarterback?
We assume that, yeah.
We assume that. Did it assume there would be 11 on offense and 11 on defense?
We assume that as well.
All right. Since then, every single year, the playbook gets tweaked. All I'm saying is that the winning teams had a playbook, the losing teams had a playbook, and all of them are tweaking their playbooks as they move
That's a bad
forward
analogy.
through time.
It's a bad analogy. That's a bad analogy. I
don't like it because it's so good.
No, it's not.
That is a really good analogy.
It's not good. And
that's a great analogy.
I could give you, it's a horrible analogy, to be honest with you. Because I can give you an example that just refutes everything you just said.
Okay, refute away.
New England Patriots.
It doesn't change the concept. You're going again to the record. I'm just saying.
I didn't mention record. I didn't mention record.
This generation is going to have a conservative.
I didn't mention record. I didn't say anything about record.
Okay, well
I said New England Patriots.
then I jumped the gun, forgive me. What about them? You said, what about the New England Patriots? And I got nothing from it, just crickets. What about them?
Every single week, and this is what you must understand, if you Ezekiel Elliott, if you want to play for the New England Patriots, every single week they don't
You worked
they do not they
you worked
do
the cowboy reference in. God, you're good.
they do not tweak their playbook. Every week they have a brand new playbook that you must know. Every week they have a very brand new game plan that you better know back to front to play for New England. So it's not about tweaking.
No, that just makes my point for me. Why would you bring that up? Just to make my point for me because we're friends?
You lost me.
I said that all teams possess playbooks and that they change on a regular basis. The discussion.
You said tweak. That tweak and change are two different things to me. Back to reality.
Hold on while I split a hair with the world's tiniest
violin. Back to reality. Whatever is in that playbook is not going to deliver the objectives that they want. That is the fucking reality, because 75% of America is aligned with going forward, not backward. So tweak your playbook.
You have no understanding of human nature. Almost all humans want to go back to whatever the fuck.
No, you're wrong. You're so wrong. You could not be more wrong, dude.
But he has confidence about moving into the future.
You could not be more wrong.
There's not a single human being, with the possible exception of Sam Altman,
could not be more wrong. I love you, but you're wrong. You're wrong.
The history of humanity is written on their unwillingness to move forward. That's why we have all these fucking problems, because we don't want to move forward. Nobody wants to move forward. Have you seen Barbie? You got to go see Barbie.
I love you, but you're wrong.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. And I love you, but you're wrong. You're wrong. I don't need to see Barbie to know that you're wrong.
You haven't. Neener.
I don't need to see Barbie to know that you're wrong. You're wrong.
The whole thing about Barbie is moving forward and how problematic it is and all the trouble it causes.
We're going to do it. So
yeah, the difference between moving forward and being dragged.
Progress is always problematic, because there's always a percentage that wants to stay in 1945. But guess what? We're not staying in 1945.
Yeah, but it's not because we don't choose to stay there. We want to stay there.
We should get off this, because I don't want to get angry. You're wrong. Let's just label you wrong. You want to get angry? Let's just label you wrong. You are so disconnected from reality on that statement. It's not even funny. So let's just
do that. I don't just like, I'm going to.
You're disconnected from reality, dude. You're disconnected from reality. So let's just. No,
I'm telling you something that will manifest, and I don't have to prove it or not. It's the reality.
All right, we shall see. We shall see.
Once again, you're Exhibit A.
We shall see.
When was the last time you drove your F-35 Infinity? Or is it F-35?
What does that have to do with this?
When was the last time
FX-35.
FX-35.
Pre-COVID.
Why? Because you're fucking happy. You don't want things to change.
That's it. You are bringing up the word. Yes, I do. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm just saying that you're.
I'm one of the.
A lot of people will say you ought to get your car fixed.
I'm one of the first people. I am one of the first people to say, yes, I've been without my FX-35, but I'm also happy that I haven't driven it for 2 or 3 years, because it's not polluting our atmosphere. I don't have an electric car, but at least I'm not polluting our atmosphere, which I know is important to me, because we are killing our planet. What the fuck
of Mount
are you
Fuji.
talking about? What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is the human,
you need to
the
regroup on
human
your
tendency
analogies
to
today.
want to do things that are currently manageable and contained. And a lot of times, happiness is just a function of having some degree of control over your motherfucking life. That's what people want. And it's true that they are willing to make accommodations and dynamic adjustments, but
You're
they
doing
still want to retain control.
you're doing horrible analogies today, man. You really are. I love you, but you're horrible. You should recalculate your analogies today for later this week because they're horrible today.
Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to recalculate my analogies.
Yes, that's what you should do because they're very poor. You've tried football. You've tried my infinity.
That was my best one. That was a great one.
No,
I tried glucose and
our playbooks in 2023 the same as they were in 1932.
That's the point I'm making. You're about to make my point for me. I'm saying they're omnipresent and they change over time, but they still have the same key elements: offensive line, receivers, running backs, and quarterback, and they're all going that way.
That's foundational. So yeah, there's always going to be.
God damn it! You once again make my point for me. Everything I'm talking about is foundational in the human psyche, unrelated to generation, unrelated to country.
No, there's evolution and progression in human beings that just like
we have not evolved. Human beings have not evolved.
All right. I'm done.
Biology.
When you make an ignorant statement that human beings haven't evolved, I'm done. That's where I have to draw the line. I'm done. Next reel.
Humans are evolving.
We have time.
It is at a very slow pace. We are not fundamentally different than we were, except for.
Oh my God.
Except for.
Oh my God, man.
Our metabolism.
You haven't evolved. Maybe you haven't evolved, but the rest of us have.
I haven't evolved. I just recalculated.
No, you had to. Your statement proves you haven't evolved. The rest of us.
I said I haven't evolved. I've just recalculated.
Okay. Again,
I still feel this.
Again, you're not making sense.
I did when I was 11.
Again, you're not making sense.
No, because I'm like.
When you say humans have not evolved, that's where I have to draw the line and end the conversation because you
Give me one example of human evolution, a single one. Flippers, gills, better hearing, sharper eyesight.
AI, cloud.
That's progression. That's not evolution. It has nothing to do with the human animal.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
Those are technologies. Those are tools. That's the difference between Neanderthal and Homo sapiens.
Do we have
Bronze Age, Iron Age?
At the federal, fine. That's all technology. Fine.
Technology.
At the federal, state, local levels of government, do we have human beings that are gay and transgender? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
Yeah.
Is that not evolution?
Oh, fuck no.
How is that not evolution? How is that not evolution?
Oh my God, I would love to go over against somebody who says,
how is that not? How is that?
You would say your journey is an
awareness. How
is that not your own internal psyche, and enjoy the journey. Nobody's going to.
All right, I'm done.
But it's not evolution.
I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
You know what? If you had a trans evolution,
I'm done.
Everybody and no babies.
Your ignorance is showing today. I'm done, dude. Seriously. I'm serious. Seriously. I'm done.
We're coming up on an hour. I dare you to get us out.
I've got to take us out because your ignorance is showing, dude.
Oh no.
So the representatives I just talked about, state, federal, local level, were they appointed there or elected there?
They were elected there. It has nothing to do with evolution.
All right, I'm taking us out. Man. I love you, dude, but you do this sometimes, and it devalues
Where I
what
make
you.
too much sense in
No, you're
a
making
dense
absolutely
fashion
no
that it just
sense.
overwhelms everything. And
You're
you're
making absolutely no
right.
sense. You're making absolutely no sense today.
You're
I love you,
so
but
right.
your ignorance is showing. You're making no sense. So we should take us out while we're whatever ahead we might be at this point,
Take us
because
out.
your ignorance is showing, dude. Seriously, those are very ignorant statements you just made. Because somewhere an old bigoted white guy like you went into the fucking booth and voted for a gay representative. That's evolution.
The definition of evolution in biology
Oh
is
my
the
God.
change in the
You and Bard.
heritable
That's the problem.
characteristics of
You and
biological
Bard.
populations
You and
over
Bard.
successive
You and Bard are
generations.
the problem.
This change is driven by four main
You
processes:
you and Bard.
mutation, genetic drift, natural selection, and gene flow.
You and Bard are the problem.
Everything that you just posited is of interest.
You and Bard are the
It's
problem here.
important, but it doesn't have a fucking thing to do with evolution.
You and Bard are the problem today. So
Well, okay,
let's take
I'll
us
go
out.
someplace else. I'll go to my other favorite.
Let's take us out. Let's take us out before this gets worse.
I dare you to take us out.
You're just so wrong and ignorant today, but that's okay. I love you anyway. All right. We are done. I think we've touched on enough ignorance for one show. And so you and Slumdog Millionaire Boy can go do your little AI searches and present whatever you need to present to bolster your positions.
All right. Both Slumdog Millionaire Boy and I are going to present what we need to present to bolster our positions.
Yes, you go.
And where necessary, we will recalculate.
Yes. You
keep understanding exactly what I'm laying down.
You will survive, but Slumdog Millionaire Boy is going into the bin with Herschel Walker. So that's where that's going to end up.
Actually, no, Herschel Walker went away.
Will
not.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. 2 Vienna dogs on that one.
Evolution works on populations, not individuals.
2 Vienna dogs on
individual organisms don't evolve. Populations evolve.
2 chili dogs. 2 chili dogs.
You cannot say an individual has evolved.
2 chili dogs on Slumdog Boy there, and humans evolve.
Yeah, what was the bet? What was the chili dog bet?
That your little Slumdog Millionaire Boy is not going to go away.
Oh God! I'm gonna be able to have a hot dog eating contest with all the wins I'm gonna have.
You call me when you start winning.
All right, dude. Try to take us out under an hour. I want to take us out under an hour.
We're at an hour,
but we're still here.
I haven't blocked First World Third Rails yet on Twitter, so we're still on Twitter because I haven't blocked anybody yet. It's still there though.
You're talking about the Twitter account.
He's recalculating. What a shock. So we're, for the moment, we haven't been blocked. We're on Twitter. We're on Spoutable. Where else are we? YouTube.
That's it? Oh, YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. We're not on Threads. We're not on TikTok. Jesus Christ, what a waste of time. All right, I'm taking us out of here. Just the uttering those words, TikTok, is just, I just wasted 10 seconds of my life I'll never get back.
20 seconds because you talked about wasting the first 10.
Yes.
30 seconds because
we're out there. Come find us. Come like us. Come listen to us. Most of all, please subscribe to us. Hey, I got to give another shout out as I close this out. I know now we're going to be an hour and 5 minutes, but I got to give this shout out. One of my Twitter buddies, John Williams, used to be a beat writer, lack of a better description, cover the Cowboys. I sent him congratulations on Twitter yesterday. He is an Oklahoma Sooner alum, so he has he's a big college football fan, obviously Oklahoma as an alum. He does an Oklahoma Sooner podcast that just hit 1 million viewers. And I went, John, congratulations.
Wow.
I'm on that path. I'm helling back from 1 million viewers, but I'm on that path, and I hope to join you on that mountaintop one day. But congratulations. So shout out to John Williams. He wrote me back and said, Marlon, I really appreciate the support you've given me. I'm much happiness to him and best wishes. 1 million viewers.
Did you ask him to tweet about our podcast?
No. JD and I hope to get there one day. We're a hell of a long ways away, but there's our inspiration.
Launch our 11th subscriber today.
There is our hope and inspiration. John Williams at 1 million viewers on the Boomer Sooner podcast, man. Wow.
What, the what or who?
Boomer Sooner.
I kind of liked mine. The Pooter Hooter.
Pooter Hooter. Maybe that's how we can get to 1 million. We'll change our name to Pooter Hooter.
Hooter, baby.
So I just want to give a shout out to my man, John. Anybody hits 1 million, hats off to you.
Hats off to you.
We've got what, 990.
We have 1 million to go.
We have 1 million to go. We're going to be Pat McAfee one day. You just watch.
Well, you are. Hey, you're going to be wearing the wife beater. I'm just going to be sitting here, and I will look exactly like.
I got to get the gold chain, though. Pat has the gold chain. Yes, the wife beater and the gold chain. You got to have both.
Are you going to get a gold chain?
No.
24 karat?
Because I ain't Pat McAfee.
Oh. You could have rubies and diamonds on yours.
I'm going to give another shout out, but I'll give that later in the week. I'm going to give it later in the week.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be a difficult shout out. So there's my teaser to join us on Wednesday on our next show, because
it's Thursday is our next show.
No, what's today? Today is Tuesday. I'm losing it, man.
When do they book him on Thursday? Thursday morning or Thursday?
It'll be Thursday morning.
Ooh. Well,
you want to talk about the internet breaking? That'll be perfect for our show, because
if he goes in the morning.
Pull up the mug shot for our show.
Oh God! And if we don't do it, then we'll do it on Friday.
We'll do it on Friday.
All right, but are we still here?
Taking us out, brother.
You know what? Remember when James Brown, they couldn't get him off the stage?
Yeah, that's us.
There you go.
Hey, encores are important. I saw Nina Simone at the Warner in Washington, D.C. She gave 15 encores. That's like another show.
15 encores. That's nothing. We can
top that. We can top that. Cheers, brother.
All right, bud. Have a good one.
Flip. All right.
Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.